Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody this morning? Good. This is wonderful. Look at this crowd of people. This is great. I'm sure that you're going to find this very, very informative. This is an orientation for our EAP students. We haven't done one in a while, and we know how important it is for you to know about the campus, to know about the college. Because the more you know, the more comfortable you are. And the more comfortable you feel in your environment, in your situation, the better able you are to be successful. Because you know what you have to do, you know what to do. So today, in really a very short orientation, we're going to give you some important information about different departments here at the campus. It's not going to be a lot of information because we'll give you more during the semester. But we are going to give you the most important things for you to remember now as you start the semester, because this is really what's critical. We want you to be successful. That is our aim. That's our goal. And for you to be successful, you need to feel that you know what to do. So during this orientation, we're going to give you information that we hope will help you to become more informed about what you're doing. So I'm going to turn it over to Evelyn Rodriguez, who's going to talk to you about how to be a shark, because that's what you all are now that you are students here. So, Evelyn?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
Great.
Good? Not great? It's Thursday.
Awesome.
So I want you to remember one thing out of all this that you get from my presentation. Room 1164. How many of you have gone to Building 1 already and visited Building 1? Right by financial aid, where you have advisement registration. Have you seen that colorful room that you've probably passed by and said, what's that? It's called the Hub. While you're there, you can study in the middle of class. If you ever want to meet with some of your professors are encouraged sometimes to have their office hours there. You also have laptops that you can borrow while you're there. You can study, there's whiteboards. If you have group presentations, you can practice that. Room 1164. We do provide other services, and as you grow at the college and as you continue on, you can always visit room 1164, and they'll give you some things that you can, different programs that we have, things that you can do as you become more acclimated with the college. And so one of the things we always do is give you some tips. These are things that other students have learned and kind of have learned the hard way. And so give us 5 minutes of your time, and we're going to show you this video, and hopefully you'll get some tips so that you don't have to go through this.
Welcome Miami-Dade College North Sharks. That's right, you are now a shark. We know college may seem like something to be scared of, but don't worry, you are a success story in the making. Here are 20 helpful tips that all North Campus Sharks should know.
Check your registration date and register early. The earlier you register, the more flexibility and more choices you have.
Arrive to campus early if you want a good parking spot. There's plenty of parking, but remember, it may take you some time to get to class, and professors do not like when you are late.
Use the planner so that you always know when assignments are due. There will be a lot of different assignments with different due dates. I found that having a physical planner is better than my phone because I get to plan myself out more.
Visit the lab early in the semester and don't wait until midterms and finals to understand the topic being discussed in class. Several of the labs offer workshops on different topics throughout the academic year.
When you miss class, it is your responsibility to ask someone for the work or contact the professor. Make a friend in every class. They can be a valuable resource.
Take responsibility for yourself. your actions, your grades, your finances. It's a great feeling to see all your efforts paying off.
Use setbacks as a challenge to overcome and an opportunity to grow. Don't let whatever you're going through defeat you.
Every fall semester, you must visit the Student Life office to pick up your parking decal. Please make sure to bring your student ID, car registration, and paid schedule. This will also be a great opportunity to get involved on campus.
Set boundaries between your world. Make sure to inform your job or those in your life when you are going to be in class or when you need to be studying. Tell them in advance and hold to your schedule. The effort will pay off.
Know the withdrawal policies. Do not lose your financial aid over something you can control. Before withdrawing, talk to your professor and academic advisor about your option.
Get help outside of the classroom. We have tutors. You can set up an appointment with your professor during their office hours. We have various labs, and the campus has many locations where you can study as a group.
The Public Safety Office is here for your assistance. You can give us a call from the yellow phones or at 305-237-1100 from your cell. For those of you who are taking classes at night, a public safety officer will kindly escort you to your vehicle. Just give us a call or visit us in room 1175.
Know your strengths. They often help you to overcome your weaknesses. You can do this, I promise. You just have to take it one day at a time.
Don't be afraid to assess and make changes in your life. That includes study habits, job schedule, and campus involvement. College is about learning about yourself and also what's taught in your classrooms.
Conduct yourself professionally in writing, speech, action, and image. The connections you make in college can position you for success in the future.
Plan, prepare, and don't procrastinate. Read your syllabus and not just on the first day of class.
Begin to research your career path and transfer institutions early so that you can pick the right classes and build your portfolio from the start.
Share your progress with others. Your story of success can inspire someone else.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. There's a great way to stay connected with other students and with what is occurring on campus.
Please check out the different events occurring on campus. Attend a play, a lecture, a student organization event. There's always something going on campus. And remember, college life is about building a lasting friendship.
We hope you found these 20 tips useful as you start your studies. Remember to always stay motivated, create memories, and enjoy your journey at Miami-Dade College North Campus.
Is there something in the video you guys didn't know that occurs on campus? No? Yes? Maybe? So thank you again for the opportunity. Again, room 1164, if you ever have any questions, concerns, things that you just don't know and want to find out more about, we're there for you. We're there to answer any of your questions, and we hope that you have a great day.
Morning. I'm Victor Moreno. I'm the Chief of Public Safety here at NOR. This is my assistant chief, Theodore Lazar. He's going to explain you some of the service that we provide in campus.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate the fact that I have an opportunity to be presenting in front of you today, reference to this journey. Miami-Dade College is a great place. And one thing I observed from the video, most of the personnel that they were students, and myself, I was a student. And service we provided in public safety We provided a lot of services. You just let us know what you want us to do. For example, one of the video you see, if you're afraid you come in here to take a class at night, you don't want to work alone, we will walk you to your car. If you need your car break down, for example, you need a jump start, we will help you to start the car, okay? If you need some information or you need a map, you're not sure where to go, we have those maps in public safety also. So you can go to look at the map and then you go wherever you want to go. As the video says, a lot of information, the fact that it's you to approach someone. One of the tips I would like to share with you, you know, be yourself professional, that's already notified in the video. Report any incident. Report any incident. For example, let's say you trip and fall. You want to report it that, you know? And if you see something that's not normal, maybe someone follow you, don't want that person to be followed. You don't want that person to follow wherever you go, you let us know. We will follow a report. You cannot locate it, your item, you want to report it that, especially when you lost a significant paper like a passport or driver license, anything that can consider identity theft, you reported that to us also. When you're on campus, you know, I'm always out there with my colleague. You can always approach me. If you have a question, there's no answer to you because you're first. To us, we really appreciate the fact that you come in here as a student, and I'm looking forward to work with you. Our office 1175, or you can come to the glass door 1177 anytime. Look for Assistant Chief Theodore. And anyone you see in uniform, this uniform, or parking attendant, you can ask them a question about safety anytime. Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
So the way to contact us is either by going to our office, 1177, building 1, first floor. The blue lights are throughout the parking lot, through our extensions, which is 305-237-1100, or through our public safety app. It's called Live Safe. That's an important app to have because if there's an emergency on campus, that's how we communicate with everyone in the classrooms and stuff like that. Any questions?
Let me ask you, are you guys in charge of like lost and found? If somebody loses their cell phone or their wallet or their purse, do they return it to the security office?
That is correct. Lost and found is located in our office. We'll log it in, and when you go out to the window, you have to identify your item and show an ID, and they'll provide if someone have returned it.
Your keys or whatever.
Yes. Any other questions? Thank you.
Good morning, guys. My name is Sandy. I am from the financial aid office. In the back, I left some papers there, some little flyers, for just as a reminder for FAFSA, for 17-18 and for 16-17, just in case you guys haven't done it. Just to get a feel for the group. How many of you guys have already completed the 16-17 FAFSA? The one for the summer. Who's getting financial aid for the summer? Okay, so all of you guys already did it. The ones that didn't raise your hands, are you guys getting classes during the summer? Yes. Do you qualify for financial aid? Yes. Have you done the FAFSA? Yes. You have. So for 17-18, have any of you guys already finished the application?
No.
Okay. The sooner you do it, the better. Right now, financial aid is pretty calm. We're in the background doing a lot of paperwork. But if you haven't completed it, in about 2-3 weeks, and the closer we get to the fall, the more people you're going to see. So if you have something to get done, get it early, get in, get out, and that's fine. If this is your first semester here, you're going to see that on the fall, that is a completely different place out there. It's going to be full of people, and everyone is going to be upset at the fact that their FAFSA hasn't been completed. So you just go over there and get everything done. Time frame, there's a lot of time. There's really, you have time, but the quicker you do it, the better. At the end of July, we're going to close the year for FAFSA for 16-17. Whatever you didn't get done at that point, that is add for that period of time. At the same time, 17-18 is going to be rolling, it's going to October 1st, I'm sorry, I just think of the days. And around October 1st or so, the FAFSA for 18-19 is going to open up. So if you haven't finished one, you don't want to get bunched together with the people that haven't finished 17-18. So you want all your classes to get paid ahead of time, and that way you don't have any problems. Because for example, just to give you an idea, today is the day when classes are going to get dropped for anyone that hasn't paid for them. So whoever of you guys out there hasn't paid for your classes today, tomorrow you won't be on those classes. And then you guys are going to be the one there on Friday and Saturday screaming at us at the window that why your classes got dropped. Because it happens every single year. So if your classes, you know right now, you pull up your schedule, on the bottom line, it says that you owe money, and you know you qualify for financial aid, your classes will get dropped tomorrow, and you won't have any classes. Now, what happened last semester, a lot of people happened to them. If you look at your schedule, sometimes the classes don't get dropped from there, and they do get dropped from the system. So you're looking at your schedule, and you're telling everyone, look, I have my schedule, my classes are here, but you're not in the rosters of the professors. So you have to make sure that you pull up the official transcripts on the computers. If you guys don't know how to pull up the official transcripts, talk to your advisors, talk to your students, and pull it up. Because what is going to happen is if you see the classes there, you are going to owe the money. And then financial aid cannot really do much because you already got a W, because the professors took you out of the class. So the most important thing is, if your classes are not paid by today, they will get dropped tomorrow. And then you don't have classes. The professors may not see it right away, they might take a couple of days before they see it. For financial aid purposes, the best thing that you could do is pass your classes. If you don't pass your classes, at the end of every spring semester, we run a program to see how you're doing in your classes. If you're doing well, you won't be on academic probation. But if you're not doing well in those classes, at the end of every spring semester, when we run the program, we tell the students, you don't qualify for financial aid anymore. You have to do an appeal. The appeal process is a little of a headache, because it's not, you cannot put on the letter, I didn't feel like going to the class, I didn't like the professor. That's not going to go anywhere. We have gotten those. That's why I'm saying those. So you could put on the paper whatever you want. But if you put, I didn't like the professor, that's why I didn't go to the class, well, we're not going to give you a financial aid. That shows that simple. So you have to have an extenuating circumstance as to why you were not able to finish your classes. So there are three things that we look at. We look at your GPA, and the more classes you get, the higher the GPA needs to be. You always shoot for a 2.0. It's apareció on the class. So if you get that, you'll be fine. The second part is that you need to pass 67% of your credits. So not so much the classes, but the credits. So some classes have 5 credits, like some of the EAP classes are 6 credits. Some classes only have 3. So 67% of those credits that you take, you need to pass. If you don't pass 67% of them, when we run the numbers on the spring, you lose the financial aid. So for example, the last one is that you have to have 150% completion rate. If I lose you guys at any point, let me know. If 150% completion rate, meaning that if you take more than 150% of the credits that you need to finish your degree, you lose the financial aid as well. Perfect example. Most of you guys are doing the EAP classes. Some of you guys haven't quite begun to actually take classes for your programs, for your associate, for whatever you're doing. What you need to keep in mind is that these classes count towards that 150%. So you have to figure out how you're going to do it. You have to talk to your advisors to figure out how you're going to get all these classes done and your degree programs, because the problem is not going to be now. The problem is going to be in 2 years, 3 years, that you run out of money and you haven't finished your program. So it's not going to be this semester or next year. It's going to be in 2-3 years when the problem is going to show up. The way it counts is, in associate program, it's about 60 credits, most of them. The Department of Education gives you an additional 30, so you have a maximum of 90 credits. Meaning that by the end of your associate, including all these classes, you have to finish within 90 credits. Otherwise, you don't get financial aid. And then you have to do the appeal and get it approved. So just keep in mind that there are a lot of little things. Don't go so much by what your friend says. If you have questions about financial aid, come and talk to us. Because what worked for you may not work for you. Every single person is different. Households, a lot of times we get students that says, oh, I didn't make any money. And I know my friend made a lot more money and they got financial aid. Well, that could be because your friend is married, has kids, and they have other issues, or other things that they got financial aid for. So it goes by money, but it goes by household. What are the different things that are affecting you? The best case scenario is if you have questions, come to the financial aid office, we're always there, especially now there is not so many students. What you're going to see is that in the fall term, we're not going to be there. We're going to be across the hallway here in the computer courtyard. Everyone is going to be there trying to help out students because there are going to be so many of you guys. So that's why try to do as early as possible. Don't wait to the last minute. There are students right now at the window. Classes begin on Monday. They don't have the money. The classes get dropped tonight. They're complaining why their file hasn't been done. You had 8 months to get it done. You're here this week, the last week of the first week of the semester. So don't wait until that happens because we cannot do anything. The most that we're going to tell you is, okay, thank you. Next, because we cannot work on your file right there. So it's not that we're not nice, it's just that we don't have time. So, any questions, anything? Nothing? Yes. 20, I know how to get there. 2119. 2119. It's going to be 2119? No. 1118, I'm sorry. 1118. I'm sorry, guys. 1118. 1118. So we're all there. So it's going to be the first office. We're going to be right next to admissions and registration. Any other questions? Nothing? Thank you, guys.
Morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Today I'm going to talk about the labs. I'm going to try to be brief, and because I know I don't have that much time. First of all, most students students who are registered in a speech listening course or writing course, you guys have to complete a lab component, okay? Just waiting for them to come in, because I want you guys to hear about the labs. It's really important. Okay, just in case you don't know, if you guys are registered in a speech listening course, writing course, you guys have to complete a lab component, okay? That is mandatory, unless you guys are registered in the EAP Plus program. Those are the combined courses. For those courses, the combined one, the EAP Plus, you guys, the lab is part of your class, so you don't really need to come to the lab. It is not mandatory, although everyone is welcome to come to the lab. First of all, if you don't know where the lab is, it's in room 1391. Okay, if you want to write that down, especially if you're a new student, if you're a returning student, you already know where it is, and you can help your friends that are new. The lab is located in room 1391, and as you can see, those are the hours of operation. Mondays through Fridays from 8:30 to 8:30 p.m. Okay, that's every day from Mondays through Fridays, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay. Okay, who needs to come to the lab? All of you guys are welcome to come to the lab, even if you're not registered in the lab course. Okay, it is really important for you to understand that the lab is out there for so you can seek help, for you to benefit from it. Okay, so you don't need to be registered in any of the lab courses, as long as you're taking one of the EAP classes, whether it is reading, writing, speech, grammar, you're welcome to come to the lab, okay? Like I said, it is mandatory for the speech, listening, and writing students, students that are registered in one of those courses, speech, listening, or writing. EAP plus student, like I mentioned, those are the combined courses. When you take speech, listening, and reading together, that is EAP plus. When you take writing and grammar together, that is EAP plus. The lab is not mandatory for you guys actually to come to the world languages lab, although you have a lab component as part of your course. But you guys are welcome to come to the lab and seek help if you need it. Okay, the lab is officially open on Monday. Okay, we're currently open to answer any questions, okay, that you might have. But the lab officially opens for you to start doing the work on Monday, okay, Monday the 15th. And we will be open until July 21st. So by July 21st, you guys have to complete all of your assignments and your hours, okay? And you can go there today. If you have more questions, you can go to the lab. We'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Okay, what is required? For the speech and listening students, everything remains the same. You guys need to purchase your Rosetta Stone Tell Me More license card, okay? That's what you guys are gonna use, and that's what grants you access to the material that you guys need to work on. For the writing lab, and this is brand new, you guys will not have to take any exams anymore, okay? We have eliminated the exams, and we will be using a new software. It is a writing software. It is very good. It incorporates all of the skills that you guys, will be exposed to: reading skills, grammar, writing, speech, and so on. And not only that, that is a software that once you purchase that, you have access to it. It's a lifetime access. That's what the publisher calls it. So you guys can actually use it as you move on to college level, to 1101, 1102, and so on. So it'll be a software that is useful for us in the EAP program, and you can also use it once you move on to college level, okay? So that is something new for the writing students in the lab. As always, you guys need to complete 30 hours of lab work, okay? It sounds like a lot, but at the end, it is not that much. At the end, most of you guys end up doing a lot more than that, 100 hours, 80 hours. But yes, you have to complete those 30 hours in the lab. Our policy. Well, it is important that you guys read the syllabus, okay? A lot of times you guys do not know what to do, or you're not too sure about the deadlines, or when is the last day of the lab. It is important that you guys get familiar with the syllabus. You have to come to the lab, read the syllabus. You can take a picture of it on your phones, okay? But keep in mind that there's a syllabus. That is the contract between you guys, the students, and the professors. In this case, the lab. So be familiar with the syllabus. Read it, understand the deadlines, okay? That is the best way for you to be successful, in your classes, in the lab. It shows you the path to be successful and be able to complete the lab successfully with a good grade, with a passing grade. Students, and this is very important, students that do not attend the lab, or in other words, if you never go to the lab, let's just put it that way, you will be purged, you will be dropped, okay? You can't start showing up to the lab 2 months later, 3 months later. That doesn't make any sense, okay? We understand if you show up the first week, the second week, maybe you take a break, a week or two in between. But you can't just show up during the last week of the semester. It doesn't work that way. If we see, and it's a lot of you guys, so we try to monitor as the best that we can. But if we see that you have not attended the lab, you will be purged, you'll be dropped. Unfortunately, sometimes you're dropped, but we don't realize it, because we can't check each one of you every time you come to the lab. When you come to the lab, we can't say, okay, I'm gonna check you to see if you have been dropped or not. We can't just do that. It's not feasible. But just keep in mind, it doesn't make any sense that if you have a course, that you're gonna forget about it and then show up at the end of the semester. Common sense tells you that if you don't go to class, you will be dropped, okay? So make sure you go to the lab. If you have any issue, please talk to me, okay? We try to help you. We try to figure out a way to help you to be successful in the lab. So make sure that you come to the lab, that you go to the lab. You guys are responsible for your assignments, okay? You guys are adults, you guys are college students, you guys are responsible for your assignments, for the completion of the assignments and the deadlines. Pedro, I did not know. well, it is your responsibility. Pedro, I'm new to this. Everyone is new to this at some point, you know. So it is your responsibility to, you know, understand the deadlines and to understand the assignments that you need to complete. Okay? You guys are adults now. Tools in the lab. Well, you can come to the lab to use the computers, obviously. If you need tutoring, and this is really important, don't wait until the last minute, a day before you have an exam, to come to the lab so we can help you. Okay? Do it in advance. Come before that. You know, make time to, even if you don't think you need it, you know, there's always something that we can help you with. So the help is, you know, it's there. We have tutors. Just come and see us. Okay, especially if you're struggling with a specific, you know, skill. We have several resources in the lab, and we'll make sure that we share them with you, and that, you know, and that will help you with whatever you need, you know, whichever you feel that you're struggling or that, you know, you do not understand. We also have the audio recording. I know that a lot of speech, you know, listening professors, you know, they send their students to the lab so they can do the recording. So if you need help with that, let us know as well. Okay, if you need to contact me or anyone in the lab, there's my email address. That is my name, Pedro Arguelles. And that is the lab telephone number. You can write it down if you want to. And if you need to ask for any of the staff, any of the tutors, you can. That's a good idea. I can take a picture of it. And that is the phone number, extension 1147, and you dial it from your cell phones. It's 305-237-1147. And that is my email address. A lot of times, you know, I'm not in the lab, or, you know, we work in different shifts. I come in the morning or you come at night. Well, the best way to contact me is obviously by looking for me in the lab or sending me an email. If you must talk to me, you must meet me, you have something important to tell me, and for whatever reason you haven't found me, please send me an email, and I'll reply to you, and I'll make sure that we can meet. Okay? Any questions? Yes.
You know, this semester is very short.
Yes.
The program is very long.
Yes.
And can you just the hours of the last 30 hours for the semester? That's a lot.
Well, actually, it is. We understand. It seems like a lot, but in reality, it is not too many hours. But the bottom line is that this is a program that requires certain things, and it is up to you to decide whether you have the time, you know, to register for 1 or 2 or 3 classes. I understand what you're saying, but the reason, you know, the lab is, there's a reason why we offer you guys a lab component, and if you have problems completing your hours, just come and see me. I will figure something out. But the lab is really, it is extremely important. As you know, there's a lot more than just going to the classroom and learning from the professor. You have to practice, you know. You have to practice your skills out there. And a lot of times, a lot of us, we don't do it because of the surroundings, because of the area where we live. So we have to practice. So the lab is the best environment for you to go and practice those skills, okay? So if you have, you know, any problems with the hours, come and talk to me, okay? But 30 hours is fair. Before used to be a lot more, yes. Yes.
For example, I have, you say 80 hours writing and speech. I have 80 points in speech.
Okay.
Only in lab of writing. 30 hours.
Yes, 30 hours. Whether you have 1 lab course or 2 lab courses or 3 lab courses or 4 lab courses, 30 hours. That's a percentage of your grade. Also, you have, and that's why it is important for you to read the syllabus. It doesn't mean that if you don't complete the hours, you're gonna fail. No, we want you to complete the hours, but it doesn't mean that because you don't complete the hours, you're gonna fail the lab. But it is part of your grade. So, you know, especially if you're struggling with the lab. If you're struggling with the lab, for more reason you should go to the lab, okay? And if you're not finishing the assignments, if you're struggling finishing the assignments because you know they're very challenging for you, that should tell you something. and on top of that, you're not completing the hours, you know, you have to think about it. It doesn't make that much sense. But yeah, 30 hours. That's all we ask. You know, whether you have one or two. Any other questions? Yes.
So you said something about that. We need to buy a software, something like that.
Yeah, license. There's two software that you guys will be using. One for speech and one for writing. And I can give you more information about that when you come to the lab. There's two software. Come to the lab and we'll give you that information because I know that we're short of time. Any other questions, real quick?
Discount, can you give a discount?
A discount? Yeah, better. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the lab. Appreciate it.
Good morning, everybody. You ready for the test? I'm going to pass these out. These are general guidelines for our department, like about students' responsibilities and what your expectations of the students. Now remember that every professor has a different syllabus with different attendance policies or, different classroom policies. These are just general guidelines. I'm going to give it to you, and on the back page, there's a place for you to sign and write your student number and name, and we're going to collect them when you go out, okay? All right? It's not a quiz. It's just a paper for you to look at while the other professors are speaking, okay? So I'm going to start over here. Can you help me pass these around? And Professor Medina, can you take the professor around?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you? Great. Nice to see some familiar faces here. Wonderful. All right, I want to talk to you about student conduct, okay? As you're all aware, there are universal rules of conduct, correct? You shouldn't be going around killing people. You shouldn't be going around stealing. Those are universal rules of conduct. But there are rules of conduct that are inherent in a particular culture. So some of the ways that you behave, Lucero, some of the ways that you behave in your culture are different from the way that we behave in this culture. And it is important for you to familiarize yourselves with those behaviors, because if you don't follow what other people are doing, then people are going to think that you're disrespectful, and we don't want that for you, correct? All right, so here's a few things that I want to share with you. And those of you who have had me as a professor, you've heard some of these things. The first one is your cell phones, okay? The minute that you walk into your classroom, your cell phone should be turned off. Remember that class time is sacred, okay? And people should not be calling you, people should not be texting you. You should not be leaving the classroom to answer your cell phone. That is unacceptable. Because if you have 25 students in a classroom and everybody gets up to answer their cell phone, then it's going to be a revolving door continuously. And you should not be sitting at your desk playing with your cell phone either. So just put it away. If you need to leave the classroom for any reason, maybe you need to go to the bathroom, maybe you need to get a drink of water, you should respectfully ask your professor, can I please leave? I need to go to the bathroom. Okay, don't just get up and walk out. I have noticed sometimes that students have their friends come to look for them, perhaps give them a set of keys, or perhaps give them their lunch or something like that. People should not be interrupting a class to give you something. So please tell your friends not to look for you when you're in class, to wait for you to be out of class, and then you can deal whatever it is that you need to deal with. one of the things that I have noticed, and this is definitely culturally ingrained, American culture thrives in individuality, doing your own thing, being competitive, whereas other cultures thrive on being in a community, working together. So I've noticed that some students who are really good in class feel like it's their responsibility that when they're taking a test, everyone who's sitting around them should see what they're doing. That is not acceptable. That will get you an F, and everybody else sitting around you will also get an F. So you're here for yourself. Is there anyone here who is here for somebody else? You're here for you, right? Okay, so remember that. Your materials for class. You have to have your book, you have to have your eraser, you have to have your papers, pencils, pens, etc. Scantron forms, all of these things. I often tell my students, if you're a carpenter and you show up to work and you don't have your hammer, how are you going to work? So be responsible, have your materials. When a professor says to you it's time to turn in a quiz or a test, turn it in. Don't sit there continuing to fill in answers when the professor has asked you, sometimes even up to 3 times, to turn in your paper. You know what I would recommend? At the end of class, go up to the professor and say, Professor, do you think you can give me a few extra minutes? I wasn't able to finish. And I bet you anything that the professor is going to say to you, come with me to my office. But if you just don't turn in the paper, then that is going to be a sign of disrespect. And you don't want to do that. The last 2 things that I have are about talking loud in the hallways, making noises in the hallways. Remember that people are in class. People are trying to listen to professors who are lecturing. People are trying to take tests. So please respect the hallways. Don't make too much noise. And the last thing that I want to say is for guys. Guys, we don't want to see your underwear as you walk around campus. So make sure that you pull up your pants, all right? Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Professor Palumbo, and I teach EAP and Spanish for the department. And I'm just going to go through a couple of things that perhaps already have been mentioned, but and you will also see these items in your course and your regulations that you have, and also in your course syllabi for your professors. But I'm going to talk about attendance. It is important for you to attend every class. You're expected to be there. Your professor will be there. You are expected to be in class as well. Most of you will see on your course syllabi that you're allowed 3 absences during the semester, and that if you go beyond those 3 absences and the drop window has passed, that you will be receiving an F for that course if you are not dropped from the course. So it's your responsibility to attend the classes. And if you're not dropped and you have passed those 3 absences, you will be receiving an F for the class. So obviously that's not something that you want to do. You're responsible for your work. If you are absent, you're still responsible for the work that happened during that class. Meaning an assignment or a test or a quiz, you are responsible. So it's good, as several individuals, some professors have talked, and Pedro also mentioned to you, it's always to get a number, get a phone number that from a classmate, contact your professor via email or via their phone number so that you can know what you missed. So the next time that you come to class, you're not totally lost because you are responsible even if you are absent. That means that you need to come prepared to class. Whether you're there or you're not, you have to be prepared in class. And talking to your professor is part of that responsibility to find out if you are absent and you missed something. If it is a quiz or a test that you are missing, even more important to contact the professor and let them know why you're not there missing that quiz or that particular assignment. Sometimes, depending on the professor's regulations, that's why you need to read the course syllabus. Sometimes you are not allowed to make up that test or quiz that you missed if you're absent on that day, unless the professor specifies that you can make it up and come to his or her office to make it up, or you have a valid reason for being absent, and then that's something that that you need to speak to the professor about, making up a quiz or a test on the day that you are absent. Arriving to class on time. You should be punctual. You should not be tardy to your classes. A lot of the times, tardiness is going to count against participation in your class. Some of your professors give you a percentage of the grade comes from participation, and that is not just being there, it's being on time and also participating. And participation includes being on time, answering questions, and bringing the materials that you're expected to bring to class. It's not just sitting there and not being active, but part of it is being there on time. And you need to understand that when the professor starts a class and you're walking in, that is being rude. Not only rude to your professor, but you're also being rude to your classmates who are already there, sitting and paying attention, and you're disturbing what's going on by walking in late. And for some reason, if there's a particular day that you know that that's going to happen, it's a good idea to mention to your professor, you know, I don't want to be absent, but on this particular day, I may be coming in a little bit late. Obviously, don't make it a habit. Or if there's a day that you need to leave early, let your professor know ahead of time, you know what, I may be standing up and leaving, or you may want to sit toward the back so that you don't disturb the other students. Late assignments may be accepted, may not be accepted, depending on your professor's policies and the course syllabus. So always make sure that you understand that if your professor puts in the syllabus that he or she will not be accepting a late assignment, that's a policy. The late assignment will not be accepted, and most likely you will be receiving a 0 for that assignment that you're not turning in. So it's important that you always read your course syllabus at the beginning so that you know the course regulations. And remember that for all the late assignments that you don't submit, obviously these are part of the course average. So you may have a very good grade in participation, etc., but you may not have a good grade in the component of the assignments that you're not turning in or missing. And a lot of these that I have gone over are in the document that you're going to be signing. Are there any particular questions about attendance, being there on time, assignments, any of the items that I pointed out? No? Okay, so I wish you good luck in your studies.
Okay, good morning, students. Good morning. I see my past students, I see my present students, and I probably am looking at my future students, so that's really nice. That's really nice. I always love to see students. I'm going to be very brief. I know that's hard for you to believe, but I am going to be quick. I'm Professor Patty Creelman, and I have taught in this department for many, many years. And I want to stress to you what the young man from financial aid said was these credits in our program count toward your degree at the end of your college career. So we take these classes really seriously. Your grades go with you forever from this program. We treat you like adults, and we treat you like college students, like you should be treated. I'm here to talk about textbooks. And textbooks are required in every class, I don't know a teacher who doesn't require textbooks. If you look on your syllabus, and of course you already have your syllabus from the first week, the teachers have the textbook in the syllabus. And what they usually tell you is that you need them by the beginning of the second week, or at the latest at the end of the second week, right? And they're not kidding. If you don't have your textbook by the end of the second week, most of the time, teachers can drop you. And then you've got to wait till the rest of the semester is over, register for the next semester, and try it again. Whether you have financial aid or whether you pay for your own classes is not important. What is important is getting that textbook. Otherwise, the student, the teacher, and you can't move forward. So that's really important. So get those textbooks. Professor Medina has already talked about this, but you're required to bring materials from your syllabus: pencils, pens, papers, scantrons. Do not ask fellow students, can you give me a pen? Can you give me a pencil? It's like, they don't want to do that. They don't want to give you their pencil because they know they're never going to see it again, And if you borrow a Scantron, you're not going to give it back to them. You know that. So don't do that. Be prepared every time. Make sure you bring every piece of paper, every textbook to class, every time. Depending on what the teacher is doing, you should have that textbook, okay? So by the second week of classes, get them, okay? Also, assignments and homework. Do your own homework. That's why you're here, okay? Teachers, again, as Professor Palumbo said, teachers give zeros for homework. Make sure when you do your homework, if you do your homework on Friday and you have to see the teacher on Monday, make sure before you walk into class that you review that homework because you've forgotten about it, right? So I don't know. Here I go. Also, not to keep you anymore, study. When you walk out the door, please remember us that we expect you to be studying after you walk out the door and before you see us again. So don't walk out the door, throw your book wherever you throw your book. Don't pick it up again until you come in the classroom. That's not what you did in your countries. I'm sure you studied before class. So make sure you're always studying. Okay, if you don't study, you're not going to learn, and that's why you're here. You're sacrificing. You're sacrificing. Every one of you sitting here is sacrificing. So make it a good sacrifice. Make it a good sacrifice. Cool. Everybody cool? Yes. I'm cool too. Okay. Professor Rice.
Okay, we're almost finished, everybody. Thank you for coming, and it was good to see you all. This paper, a lot of people didn't get one of these because I didn't make enough copies. My fault. How many did not get one? Raise your hand. Let's count. Wow. I was really short. Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up if you didn't get one. Can you help me count, guys? About 20 or 30? Okay. Okay? All right, now listen. If you did get one, don't worry, we're going to make more copies and you'll get one. I'm going to make as many copies as you raised your hands. I need you to please detach the paper, and the back page you're going to sign and write your student ID number, and when you walk out, we're going to leave it right here on the table. Somebody's going to collect it from you, okay? This is a contract that says you're going to follow the responsibilities and the guidelines, okay? One more thing that I just wanted to say, speak English in your classrooms. If you speak English, we can help you. If you speak Creole or Spanish, we can't help you, okay? Or Chinese, or whatever. Okay, thank you for coming, and have a good semester.
Okay, everybody, before you leave, 1 second. I know that summer just started, but next week, registration for fall begins. So, please do not come to the office. We are going to make this very easy for you. We are going to prepare registration packets that we will give to your professor. The professor will bring the registration forms to class. You can fill them out, give them to your professor, and the professor will return them. You do not have to come to the office. We will deliver the registration forms to you to make it easy. If there's a problem, then you can come to the office, but we're going to try to make this as easy as possible for you. If you have any questions about anything that we talked about today, please come to see us. Please go to financial aid. You heard Sandy from financial aid say the best person to ask information about financial aid is financial aid. They're the experts, so you want to go there. If you have questions about your class, go to your professors. If you have questions about the schedule, come to our office. If you feel that you need to talk to somebody, come to see me. I live in my office. People think I never go home. I don't even know where I live anymore. So, my door is always open to you because what we want is for you to feel comfortable and to be successful. And so whatever we can do to help you, we will do. So have a great semester, everybody. Thank you.